Damn it. Damn it. Oh, this is weird. This is freaking weird. Okay. Okay. Shit. Oh my god. I learned this technique from Skip Rogers. It's the best technique ever. I call the technique harmony, but this video isn't about doing the harmony technique, more so than trying to get this glitch to happen where for some reason the game just decides to abruptly end. So when I let it sit here and do this, it gets to a point where all of a sudden the game just does like what you would be like a kill screen. So there must be a timer or something that stops the game at a certain point. But as you can see, this game is acting a little weird right now. I mean, I can't get the controls to. I mean, the ball is doing some erratic things, and you know the paddles are moving a little bit on their own, so it might prevent the glitch from ever happening. But I mean, I got it in harmony right now. It's playing by itself. Skip is a hack. Yeah, he is a bit of a hack. He's a cheater. And one day he'll get exposed for his cheating. Alright. This is weird. So the anomaly that's supposed to happen, I would like to call it a kill screen, but you can only call it a kill screen if the screen switches, and at this point the screen isn't, the screen isn't going to switch. But maybe that weird thing that happens will cause the game to end. I'm just waiting for it to happen. So normally I would probably go on the computer and let this do its thing, but I got really nothing better to do. And actually I'm just trying to kill time right now. because at about 11 o'clock my time, this Mexican restaurant near my house opens up, and go have some lunch, have a nacho plate and a couple beers. But right now it's too early. The Nintendo police needs to apprehend him. The Nintendo police? This is an Atari game. The Atari police need to apprehend me. Or unless you're talking about Skip, then yeah, I think they need to definitely apprehend him. This is Skip's favorite game right now. Skip, the great Skip Rogers. So this is weird. I've never had this happen. Normally the ball will bounce back and forth. But in this case, it's doing something weird where it bounces back and forth, then goes down, up, and it's doing it all automatically. It's really bizarre. And then as you can see, one of my paddles just keeps jittering a little bit. So, the taco place. Los Mahalcas or something? I'm going to get myself a nacho plate. Nacho plate with grilled chicken, black beans, and some jalapenos. And then get a... what kind of beer am I going to get? It's going to be a Negro Modelo. Now normally I'd have an IPA, but I'm kind of getting sick of IPAs. They've been making me feel sick. So, you know, I need to kind of go lighter on the beers. Skip has multiple crimes against over multiple consoles. Yes, indeed. If only there was a way. If only the speedrun community would expose him instead of poor Todd Rogers, who I believe is not a cheat. He was a legitimate, great game player, one of the first professional gamers. Skip, on the other hand, yeah, the only good thing he has going on is that crappy video that he did back in 1989 in the World Video Game Championship. Now, feel free to go and send that relay that information to him. You know, I'd like him to know that I'm talking mess about him. Miller Lite tastes great and less filling. Kind of sick of Miller Lite. It's just too. Most Miller Lite, Bud Light, a lot of that stuff is too watered down for me right now. At some point, I might go back to it, but I mean, I'll drink them. But I think a Negro Modelo right now sounds pretty good. Okay, so far the glitch hasn't happened, so this is a little strange. I mean, I'm tempted to just let the game continue playing for as long as it will play, but usually the glitch, or I don't want to call it a glitch, it could be put there purposely, but usually it starts to happen around 10 minutes or so I don't know how long it's been. Los Mahalcas. Hulk Hogan comes up to the table. Yeah, I know, he silenced Ronnie. I always thought Ronnie Green was Skip Rogers, but you know, maybe that's still true. Maybe Ronnie still is Skip, and you know, to keep people from arousing suspicion, he had to kick himself out of the group, so people would stop accusing him of being Skip Rogers. But you know, I still think that's not out of the question. Sausage races. Okay, I'll watch some sausage races as long as it's nothing weird. You know, if it involves food, cool. If it involves guys, I think I'm good. So as you can see, this is a real intense game going on here. I don't know if that glitch is going to happen. Skip is Ronnie's evil twin. Yeah, I agree. I think Skip is Ronnie's evil twin. Skip is Ronnie Green's multiple personality. So far, no glitch. I wonder how long this has been going for. Let me check the time. Let's see. I posted this at 4 minutes ago. Okay. So it says I posted this 4 minutes ago, so we still got some time. Hey, what's going on, Donald? Just waiting for the this glitch to happen. Supposedly, if I let this game play, I'm letting the game play by itself using a technique I've named Harmony, where you position both paddles in a way where the ball will just bounce back and forth between them. But there's some weird things kind of going on, like the paddle's kind of jittering right now, and the ball kind of sometimes bounces into a different position. But ideally, if I could get it in perfect harmony and the ball just bounces back and forth, this strange anomaly happens where it just abruptly ends the game. So, I'm waiting for this weird anomaly to occur. It might take about maybe 5 more minutes it'll happen. But right now things are not happening as I expected them to. I mean, as I said, one of the paddles is jittering and the ball isn't bouncing back and forth like it's supposed to. It's kind of bouncing a little more erratic than it usually does, so I don't know if the glitch is going to happen or not. And I keep calling it a glitch, but it might not be a glitch. It might be a special timer that ends the game. So I'm curious if a timer exists in Pong Video Olympics for the Atari 2600 that ends the game. I suspect that this anomaly should occur if the paddles are not in movement for like over 10 minutes and then the game just decides to end. But I've got a little bit of jitter going on, so try Dragster today and I suck. I probably am going to try Dragster, but see, I'm a little embarrassed to play that live right now because I don't do too bad, but I'm having a hard time getting the technique that Todd Rogers has taught me, a technique where you got to time your shifting of the gears at certain points. And I have the habit of just, you could say, I want to say button mashing. It's almost like I'm pretty much doing button mashing with Dragster, and that's the problem. Like I keep, I have a habit of just hitting the gears, repeatedly just to get my results, and it works more or less. I mean, I can get a 5.94 or 5.91, but I need to get into a technique of creating a habit of a real technique, in order to get good at Dragster. Otherwise my score isn't going to get any better than 5.91. I really want to get in the 5.6 range. I would love to, ideally I want to get to 5.61, and if I can get good enough where I can repeatedly do 5.61s, then I should be able to get a 5.57. Anything beyond that, if it's possible, that's Todd Rogers territory. I can't do that. That's superhuman territory. Although if I can get a 5.57 and I could repeatedly get those, maybe I'll see if it's possible to go higher than that. Yeah, that slight movement might create a problem. That weird jittering. And you know what? That probably would be a good thing, because if the jitter continues to happen, it'll show that timer, whatever that timer is or whatever, only works as a result of when the paddles are not moving. Because what happens is the weird bug that happens, or anomaly, it happens. It's like all of a sudden the screensaver activates. Atari games, when the game is over or when you first start a game, it goes into this weird screensaver mode where it'll show the game, and then like the colors on the game will just repeatedly change. So if this jitter prevents that special screensaver, from occurring, I might just let this game go as long as possible. Just let it, see how long it goes as a joke. I'll go out, once it hits around, I got 20 more minutes, so once the timer, once it's time for me to go to lunch, I'll just let this game continually play like this. Hey, what's going on, Gary? I'll just explain what I'm doing here, for people who just showed up. I am attempting to get this weird anomaly to occur, where the game suddenly it suddenly just quits. And it happens usually 10 minutes within the game. And the only way to get so far the only way I've got it to trigger is by doing a technique I call harmony, which you can kind of see is kind of happening right now, where both paddles are positioned in a way where the ball just bounces back and forth, back and forth. But I don't know if I'll be able to trigger the anomaly because I got this weird jitter going on. Between one of the paddles keeps jittering. So, you know, I thought that this anomaly was caused by, you know, like a timeout. Like the game has a built-in timer that forces the game to suddenly quit. But as long as this paddle is jittering, this game could probably go for as long as it takes. You know, that weird anomaly might not happen. And I suspect the anomaly occurs because the game notices that the paddles aren't moving. And because the paddles aren't moving, this forces, you know, the game to end because no activity. It activates the built-in screensaver, as I call it. You know, and if you played Atari games, just explain this for the millionth time. Atari games, when you lose the game or just start the game, it goes into this weird screensaver where the colors will randomly, you know, it'll randomly flip through different colors. You know, you'll see your gameplay and the colors will just randomly change. But, you know, this anomaly doesn't seem like it's going to happen. It's kind of a bummer. You know, I've already taped the anomaly once. You know, the idea here was to tape it a second time and, you know, put it on YouTube, you know, just to show that it exists. Oh, there it goes. Sweet, perfect, did it. So I guess the jitter didn't make a difference. There must be a timer that happens that causes the game to abruptly end. So it just ended now. So I've accomplished what I wanted to do. You know, next thing to do is to splice the video, put it on YouTube, and you know, and just try to track how long it took from the beginning of the game up until this point for this strange occurrence to happen. You know, my idea was to try to get a world record in Video Olympics Pong by playing, by marathoning it, you know, by playing it by myself. Single player, I control both paddles. The idea was to maintain a score of 0. But if this timeout occurs, it'll prevent this marathon from ever being able to happen. You know, and I wonder if this marathon happens, I mean, this anomaly occurs with the actual Pong arcade. So, anyhow, that's it. You know, I accomplished what I wanted to do here. So, thanks for watching. You know, and maybe I'll do this one more time just to see if it's try to figure out what's going on here. It's weird. Anyways, take care.